Hello again and welcome to my channel. I'm everybody's weird sister, so my channel is aptly named A Weird Sister. My name is Nicoletta and welcome to my channel. Today's painting, since I did decide from my last video that I am going to be rotating my art as much as I can in my videos, this is another one of my pieces that I have here. It's on baducci.co, baducci.co. I've had an art business for the past 15 years and I'm going to be rotating my paintings in my videos here on my Weird Sister channel. So this video, the topic of the video is being weird is okay. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about why being weird is okay is because in my last video I said being disliked is okay. And being different from people is okay. Seeing things differently from people is okay. If you need to hear that, you can hear it from me. You can hear it from me first. My contacts are bothering me, so I apologize. It's been a very long day. I had a lot of success today with a lot of different things. I had a few different phone calls that I really needed to be a part of, so I'm getting this video out a little later than I would have liked, but that is what it is when you have to work and run things and handle things accordingly. But being weird is okay, and being disliked is okay. And what that looks like for you in this world is probably being noticed for not always seeing things the way that other people see them, not always conforming to what people want you to conform to. This is a world where we have many different things going on. We have many different new fields. We have emerging fields every day. We have changing thoughts and opinions every day. We have the population grows, the population decreases every day. The world is in a constant state of evolution and change and growth and understanding new realities within it. Your reality and your view are two different things. Like, if you're able to realize what you actually are doing, what you're actually achieving, maybe what you're not achieving because of setbacks, like not realizing that being weird is okay, being disliked is okay, and like my other video, everyone is a lesson, good or bad. If you're not realizing those things and you're not taking them into account for part of your reality, then your expectations are always going to maybe shortfall you or not be achieved because you're not realizing those things. It's not always going to be about your plan going the way that you want it to go. Sometimes you have to step back and realize that your ideals for what you're trying to achieve, whatever it is, may not align with what you're currently being faced with in your reality. And that is where being weird is okay. That is where being disliked is okay. That is where you learn that everyone is a lesson, good or bad. And so when you take into account these things, when you take into account that your reality might be not what you envisioned it to be, okay, and you need to find a way around it, being weird and being different from those around you is okay in that regard. Thinking about it differently is okay. And a perfect example of this is when you look at and you study any form of witchcraft, and you study any form of what the Wiccans and the pagans had to deal with. And you're like, oh, wow, she's going there. Wow. Well, I'm sorry, my friend, you're on the channel, A Weird Sister. Yeah, we're going to go there. And that's an inherent part of weird culture. You know, witches were once considered the practitioners, the medical source for their time. And that really scared and put a lot of concern in those around them, or people that were considered authority, as it were. People that were religious, that were trying to instill their values, their conforming ideals on people at the time. And then you have witches who are just basically trying to provide tinctures or ointments and different ways to help people pursue whatever they needed to go through so that they could be better, so they could function, so they could tend to their flocks of sheep, so they could, run the church. I mean, a lot of pastors and preachers actually saw witches for support and guidance and help with whatever they needed medically. And when they realized that that gave them an income, it made them successful, it made them independent, and they didn't have to conform to the church to do it, they realized that other people would realize that, and that scared the ever loving shit out of them. So then they sought to go after them and begin witch hunts and begin trials and try and persecute them for helping people. And while they did all that, while they persecuted all those people, while they, went after that group of people, those people were still prominent figures and prominent examples of how medicine at the time worked. If you look through any medical history, any pharmacology history, any kind of understanding of toxicology, even, you can see that we learned a lot of things about belladonna, cyanide, different forms of plagues and how they were treated, how something as simple as warts were treated, um, headaches and how those were handled. All those different things came from witches treating people. And they had to make themselves known in the crowd by wearing hats. That's why they have the pointy hats. Because way back when, if you were in a crowd and you wanted to make sure you were going to the legitimate source to get whatever you needed, you had to make yourself known. So they started to wear those hats. And then people started to mock them, and now every Halloween we see them everywhere. And nobody really understands that story. But that's what they had to do to be successful. People saw fit to persecute them, to mock that, to make fun of them, to make them an outcast, while still maintaining treatments and still gleaning everything they learned and how to handle whatever problems they had from those people. So when I say that if you're weird and you have a way of doing things and people, aren't necessarily going to accept it at the time, this is another example of that. Not just from just like saying, oh, I pitched this idea to a corporate board meeting, or I pitched this idea to someone else, or, I went and tried this business venture and it didn't work out. And then 5 years later, because I didn't patent it, somebody took it over. This stems back as far as witchcraft in the 1200s, 1600s, all of that time frame. This has been going on for a while, and predominantly with women. When you're able to understand the world around you, when you're able to understand people and use your sense of empathy you have, or caring and compassion you have, that nurturing spirit that you have to handle the world around you, and people put you down, or they gaslight you, or they tell you that you're wrong, or they try and persecute you for it by not excluding you in events, or by excluding you from events, by not including you in events is what I mean, by not listening to you, by making you, seem like you're blacklisted to other people, by basically socially outcasting you in some way because of your ideals. It's because you inherently have some form of power that they cannot handle. And that is their problem. It is not your problem. You continue being weird. You continue putting yourself out there and you push forward. And if you really want to know more on this, beyond just the Salem witch trials that we all learned about in middle school, a good story that you can possibly look towards is Tempel Anneke in Germany. She was a practitioner in Germany, and she was a witch in Germany at the time. And everyone was seeing Tempel Anneke. She was an older lady, she was an older witch, and they persecuted her through sleep deprivation and through several other things, because someone got mad at her and they accused her of doing something with sheep. I believe she had an issue with a farmer and someone accused her of hurting his sheep or stealing his sheep, something like that. It's been a while since I've read the book in college, but she's a perfect example of, when you go to help people and then they come back at you. But if you look at the things Tempel Anneke did, the tools that she used, the things that she did in her tenure as a witch, she actually helped the whole village. And they realized after they persecuted her and after she was murdered that a lot of people were getting sick and a lot of people weren't able to take care of themselves the way that she was taking care of them. And then they blamed that on her spirit, and they said that she was coming after them and witchcraft, but it was because the absence of her presence created a dissonance in their realities that they couldn't reconcile. So that was her power. And then years later, it's studied by all involved, including yours truly. So I'll put a link to the book below, but just know that being weird is okay, being different is okay. Even if you're persecuted, you're still making a difference. Even if you're being put down for any reason, it's because you have power that they can't control. You're not conforming to their ideals, and that is not your problem. That is their problem. So, I have to go. My dog is being annoying. I don't know if you can hear him, but he has to go out. So, I'm going to go take care of that, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a wonderful rest of your week and stay weird.